pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Rockwood Board of Education meeting. Before we begin, we would like to extend our condolences to the family, friends, students, staff, and everyone who knew and loved Carolyn Bemore, who passed away last week. Carolyn taught biology at Eureka High School beginning in 1996 and touched the lives of countless students and staff members over the years. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with her husband and daughter and everyone who knew and loved Carolyn, as well as the entire EHS community. Our first order of business is approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Hearing none, the ayes have it and the motion passes. Next is looking for a motion to approve the Board of Education meeting minutes for July 17, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, any opposed say no. The ayes have it and the motion passes. Next is a motion to approve the Board of Education work session meeting for July 30th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. If no discussion, we will take a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it and the motion passes. We are at patron comments. We have a couple tonight, which is always great. During patron comments, citizens may address the Board of Education concerning agenda items. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes, and the patron comment period is limited to 30 minutes total. Combining time or giving your time to someone else to speak is not allowed. Only one speaker is allowed at the podium at a time. Please note that at the board's discretion, the board or superintendent may respond immediately to an issue raised during patron comments for clarification. However, our general practice is to respond to the comment at a later time via phone call or written message if a response is needed. We have a table with a microphone ready so both the board and the audience may hear the patron comments clearly. It's there. If anyone who has submitted a comment card does not get the opportunity to speak, please know that you also have the opportunity to submit your comments in writing to the board at any time. The board appreciates that you took the time to come this evening, and we value both your input and your perspective. For your convenience, our 3-minute time clock is ready, and our first patron comment is Thomas Cook. Hi, Tom.
Hi. Good evening, President Mignette, Vice President Romberg, school board directors, and Superintendent Kane. My name is Thomas Cook. I am the president of the Rockwood National Education Association. I'm here tonight to speak to agenda item 8.01, resolution calling an election for purpose of increasing the district's operating tax levy. It's important to note that my remarks are about the tax levy in general and should not be construed at this time as an official endorsement by RNEA. If the board passes the resolution, then the RNEA Representative Assembly will follow its usual democratic process to vote on an official endorsement. I want to acknowledge and appreciate that this step honors the commitment made during negotiations last year to pursue sustainable funding solutions. Thank you to the board and district administration for the work that's gone into bringing this proposal forward. As you know, Rockwood has not passed a tax levy increase in over 30 years and has one of the lowest tax rates in St. Louis County. That reality makes it increasingly difficult to compete in recruitment and retention of staff, and in turn to provide the exceptional learning environments our students deserve and our community expects. Education is a people business, not just of the students we serve, but the staff who support them: educators, nurses, social workers, bus drivers, maintenance crews, food service workers, secretaries, safety personnel that work tirelessly for the benefit of the Rockwood community. Because of their work, Rockwood is frequently lauded for the educational experience it provides. We must be able to attract and retain high-quality professionals in all roles. We can do so in part by securing the funds necessary to provide all staff a livable wage and competitive benefits. Our shared mission is to ensure all students realize their potential. Adequate funding is essential to that mission. Assuring Rockwood can pay all staff a livable wage is vital to meeting the goals outlined in the Forward Together strategic plan, especially those focused on fiscal responsibility and highly qualified staff. It will also help bring to life the new Rockwood promise to cultivate belonging, empower all, honor dignity, and embrace innovation. This resolution is one of many steps toward making that promise real. A strong public school district benefits not just students, but the entire community. Great schools attract families, raise property values, support local businesses, and contribute to a stable, educated workforce. When Rockwood thrives, the community thrives. Now more than ever, we must protect and strengthen our public schools, a cornerstone of our democracy and a right guaranteed by Article 9, Section 1 of the Missouri Constitution. Lastly, as the district continues to take on new initiatives such as this, I urge you to engage staff voices and perspectives early and often in all parts of the process, from planning to implementation. Listening to those directly impacted not only builds trust, it leads to better decisions and stronger outcomes. Thank you. And look at that, right at 3 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to speak very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Tom. Next, we have Angie Midnight Quest? Oast. Thank you, Angie.
Good evening, Board. My name is Angie Midnight Oast, and I am a Rockwood resident and a proud parent of 2 Rockwood students. I have a 4th grader at Westridge and an 8th grader at Crestview. I am also lucky enough to be a school nurse for Rockwood School District. I am here this evening to respectfully ask for your support in placing a tax levy increase on the November 4th ballot. As a school nurse, I see firsthand the critical role that health services plays in supporting student success. This levy would allow us to implement important investments in several areas that directly impact both staff and students. The levy would help us recruit and retain high-quality nurses. It would help reduce burnout and improve job satisfaction for our current nurses. When nurses are supported, they stay and they thrive. This translates into improved health outcomes for students, creating a healthier school environment and contributing to increased attendance. Finally, this investment in health services would mean that we can strengthen health education across the district, empowering students to make informed choices to support lifelong well-being. On behalf of the school nurses across Rockwood School District, I want to thank you for considering this important step towards a healthier, safer, and more successful future for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to talk to us.
Again, thank you, Angie. And next we have Johnny Jordan.
Good evening, ladies and
evening.
gentlemen. My name is Johnny Jordan. I've been employed with Rockwood since 2016 as a driver and a trainer, so I get to see a lot of new drivers that come into the district. I'm proud to work for the district. I'm really proud to work for the district. I think that if we can get this tax levy support, I have a lot of drivers who would do whatever they need to do to support it, to get out, to make sure it passed, because a lot of them need the health benefits that the teachers has gotten, and that would be a good thing for us to retrain drivers and to keep the drivers that we have here now. Driving a bus isn't easy. I speak to a lot of parents out on my route. I hear a lot of different things from parents. A lot of them are very appreciative of what the jobs the drivers do. You know, they tell us that every day. But ever since COVID hit, we lost drivers, which means we had to reduce routes, which means that some of the workload it got pushed over to other drivers who have stepped up to the plate, the men and women there. They don't question it. Whatever the boss asks to do, they make sure these kids get to and from school. That's number one priority with the drivers. So with this, I really would like to see this tax levy on this next ballot in November, and hopefully it'll pass and we can give the drivers the insurance that they've been trying to achieve for the last 6 years, according to the MOU. That's something that we would be glad to go back and negotiate if this does pass. I thank every one of you for your time. I thank you for the opportunity to let me speak, and we'll keep on keeping the wheels rolling.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Next is Superintendent and Board comments.
Thank you, President Benyett. Not sure every stakeholder will appreciate this next comment, but there are only 11 more sleeps until the start of the 2025-26 school year in the Rockwood School District. It is truly a very exciting time for our students, for our staff members, and our parents alike. And we truly cannot wait until that very first day of school, which, as a reminder to our students, and I know you're watching, Monday, August 18th. So in order to get things up and going, to help prepare the start of the school year, more than 150 Rockwood administrators and Board of Education members gathered for the district's annual administrative conference, and that was on July 22nd through 24th at Rockwood Summit High School. The theme for this year's conference was Rooted in the Promise, Forward Together, and it's centered on the district's new 5-year strategic plan. Again, that's Forward Together. And one of its main tenets is the Rockwood Promise. We had 3 great days of learning and fellowship as we came together to get the school year started off on a very high note. I would also like to extend a very special thank you to the Rockwood Summit cheer and dance teams, as well as the band and color guard for being on hand to extend a very warm welcome to our administrators as they are arriving in the morning. We also welcomed, actually this week, more than 114 teachers new to the district during our new teacher orientation event. I want to thank our curriculum and our professional learning departments for helping us to get our teachers started in a very, very bright manner. We're excited about the start of the school year. Staying on that theme of back to school, please visit our district website, rsdmo.org, for important information for our families and our students as we gear up for the start of the school year. Our back to school guide in particular comes in handy with links and resources for things such as school supplies, how to access calendars, customizing how you're in fact going to receive communications from our schools and district for the upcoming school year. That's the link, rsdmo.org. I can sense and feel literally thousands of students jumping on those links right now as we speak. So I hope it doesn't crash our server as they're jumping on board. Very excited to announce that in July, recent Lafayette High School graduate, that is Audrey Keller, was announced as one of the recipients of the second round of this year's college-sponsored National Merit Scholarships. Audrey plans to study economics and international relations at the University of Southern California. More than 3,700 college-sponsored National Merit Awards were announced over the course of 2 rounds this summer, and 7 Rockwood graduates were among the 73 honorees from the state of Missouri. In total, 14 Rockwood graduates were among the 134 National Merit Scholarship winners from the state of Missouri this year, with Marquette High School with 8, tying for the most of any school, and Lafayette High School with 6, with the 3rd most. Congratulations to Audrey and to all of our National Merit Scholarship recipients. Let's give them a round of applause. And finally tonight, I want to offer a very brief look at one of the many facilities projects that you see going on in our district. The renovation of the roof system at Ridge Meadows Elementary School. Our roof renovation project used a fluid-applied roofing system that helps reduce interior cooling costs, extends the roof's warranty by 20 years, and is about 50% less expensive than a full tear-down and traditional roof replacement. This project is funded through the district's general fund and is a holdover from the way that these projects were funded before the passage of Prop 3. In the future, Rockwood will follow a cycle of HVAC renovations one summer, and then roof system renovations the very next at each of our schools, and that will be utilizing Prop 3 funds. Let's take a look at this video. That's all that I have for now, President Nadet. Thank you.
Thank you. Board comments.
So I'd just like to make 2 comments if I could. First is to thank all the folks who came today to speak to the board. We very much appreciate them coming. I know it's not the most popular thing to do, to speak on the microphone, so thank you very much for doing that. Second piece, though, is to leverage off something Dr. Kane just mentioned. We did get a lot of Prop 3 work done this summer. So as I recall here, I think we got 3 elementary school HVAC systems done this summer, a playground, a parking lot renovation. So absolutely making progress, and I know a lot of that occurs purposely over the summer when the students aren't there, so it might be out of sight, out of mind to a lot of people in the community. But I think it's just a very good indication that we are fulfilling our promises for Prop 3 and upgrading the HVAC systems and doing the repairs this district needs and spending that money very wisely. So thank you for everybody involved in those efforts.
And I believe there's, on the website, everything that's happening is listed out, and you can go and you can our patrons and our community can check it out.
I'd like to give a shout out to our Educational Access Department and all the teachers, administrators, volunteers that volunteered for the Meet Me in St. Louis, welcoming back our voluntary transfer students. It was a fun evening, a lot of experiences, a lot of exposure to our schools, and we welcome all of our students back and wish them the best for the 25-26 school year.
It was very joyous. Any other? If not, looking for the motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to pull out or acknowledge 7.17, our public gifts. There is a $24,000 contribution from an anonymous donor to Lafayette High School for their Lafayette band program. So thank you very much for supporting us from our community. And then Ellisville had a Home Depot donation of $2,250 donation to the grounds landscaping of their beautification of their marquee. So again, thank you to everyone in our community that helps to support our schools.
Any other comments? If not, we will take a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Hearing none, the ayes have it, and that motion passes. Eight point zero one. This is the resolution calling an election for purpose of increasing the district's operating tax levy. And the motion is to approve a resolution calling for an election in the Rockwood R6 School District to increase the district's operating levy.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Don't we have a presentation? Or not?
Are we having a presentation?
We are,
Yes.
yes.
But before we do that, well, let's do that first.
Okay.
I'll come back to this.
Thank you, President Midget. I will get this conversation up and going, and there will be other cabinet members that will most definitely be joining in to the dialogue. I think it's important to actually just for our community to hear and to understand that this has been a ongoing source of conversation, which ultimately led to the Board of Education coming together just last Wednesday for a workshop. Over a multitude of topics, including some work with MSBA, just as the board continues to have conversation and focuses energy on its behaviors and how it works individually, but ultimately collectively as a team. But that afternoon, there was a very detailed conversation that focused on this notion of us actually putting a proposition before our community and spent hours in dialogue. The board spent hours of reflecting upon some feedback, not only survey, but also just reflecting upon what we've heard over the course of the past couple of years here in the Rockwood School District. So all of that led up to this now being placed before the Board of Education for consideration. I too want to thank each and every patron that shared their feedback and perspective during the comment period earlier, and completely agree with everything that was shared. Our salaries are something that are an ongoing, long-standing issue here in the Rockwood School District. And as I think of, as was alluded to earlier, our new strategic plan, as we literally see not only pictures of the promise behind us, but the strategic tenet of highly qualified staff, this is a critical component of what we do literally on a daily basis in our district. The fact is, we have not had a tax levy before our community since 1994, and we have one of the lowest tax rates in the entirety of the county. And that data is staring us in the face. It's causing a number of challenges, and in order to remain competitive, we have to look at doing something that looks different. That's been the whole source of this conversation and this ongoing dialogue and concern. We want to be very strategic and purposeful, but moving forward as a school district so we can stay strong as we continue to progress, not only as a district, but as a community as well. You can see literally back, according to this slide, you can see what's happened as it has related to our tax rate over the years themselves. You can see where we have been. You see a bit of ebb and flow, but please understand we want our community to have crystal clarity of where we stand, specifically with taxation in our district. This is our challenge. The district did what it needed to do when it came to the brick and mortar needs of our school district, and we are now at a place where we have to do something. We strongly believe that we have to do something in order to remain competitive when it comes to our staffing. As you heard, actually by our comments, those that made comments today, it's all staff positions within the Rockwood School District that we need to be paying attention to. It's an increasingly competitive environment, and I agree with the statement that was made earlier that when we thrive, ultimately communities that make up the Rockwood School District are in fact going to thrive as well. So we have a couple of slides, okay, more than a couple. We have a total of about 13 slides that we want to share with you, but we want to talk about some comparative data because it's important that people are paying attention to what is happening. There are districts that are flat out leveraging our reality against us, and that's just a statement of truth. They are leveraging that reality against us, and it is a threat to us as a school district and what we do on a daily basis. This is all positions in terms of the challenges that we're dealing with. And so we're going to start a conversation with some comparative data and then pick up with some more fiscal information. Dr. Cohen, you want to pick up at this point?
Certainly, you kind of stole my thunder, as did our 3 patron comments. This is about ensuring that we are competitive in all of our salary groups and our employee groups. This is giving you a look at the 24-25 teacher salary comparisons. For the bachelor's on the left-hand side, you're looking at the minimum bachelor's salary comparison, and on the right-hand side, you're looking at the maximum bachelor's salary comparison. Rockwood is the highlighted area. This is looking at our classroom assistants, and I'm just grabbing a couple comps for you guys to see. You can see where Rockwood is situated in looking at our teacher assistants. Again, looking at our administrative assistant pay comparisons, this is looking at our elementary and middle school. This is, again, clearly an area that we really need to focus on. These are the groups that are currently eligible for essential benefits only, and Mr. Jordan did a very nice job of speaking to the essential benefits package, and we are really looking to move our employee groups to the same package that our teachers and many of our other groups are on. He alluded to the fact that during our recent transportation negotiations, we did sign an MOU that if we were to proceed with a tax levy and that were to pass, that is something that we would be able to offer our drivers. He very much so understated the amazing job that they do. Any of you that have put your children on a bus know how very difficult that job is. So we really want to make sure that we're doing everything we can for all of our employee groups.
I will pick up and talk about safety personnel, but please, Dr. Cohen highlighted this. We could literally go position by position, group by group in our school district, and we can speak to the disparity of where we are ranking in comparison to other school districts in the county. And so, for the sake of time, we've just provided a brief snapshot. I have great confidence that we will talk in more depth as this semester gets up and going, depending upon what the board ultimately chooses to do. But it's a systemic issue that we are facing when it comes to the competitiveness of our environment. We have very proudly and very openly had very meaningful conversation about safety. And I wish I could sit here and tell you that in the past 2 weeks, there weren't examples of things in terms of incidents that have occurred across our nation, and that's untrue. We have had 2 choices to make. One is to close our eyes and put our head in the sand, or the other is to be as open and realistic of what the world really is presenting us in terms of challenges. And I think we've done so in a very balanced, very appropriate, and very professional manner as a school district. As you all know, we have secondary schools that have each been assigned a school resource officer, and they've been amazing partners from our law enforcement community, but they're also critical puzzle pieces within the schools themselves. They become a part of the family. And you know this as well. This is now the 3rd year in which we have had our school safety officers that have been district employees, all of which have experience as members of law enforcement. And I remember when they were first brought on board, my one request was that we all work to make sure that they just be accepted as any other staff member in terms of a family member within our schools. And each of them, to a person, has done an amazing job of doing just that. They have embedded themselves. They have become a part of our school community. We all sleep and rest better as a result of the contributions of not only our school resource officers, but most definitely our school safety officers. Their ability to rotate across the different quadrants of our school district and build those relationships has made a world of difference. We are truly looking forward to, as a result of what we're discussing and what we discussed last week, moving forward with adding 2 additional school safety officers to expand our safety envelope within the Rockwood School District. And the idea would be just to simply expand what our school safety officers are currently doing. They literally met folks as they walked in to the board meeting this evening, and they do everything that they're doing in that same manner, very professionally, very appropriately. They've been there and they've done that, and they're a part of the Rockwood School District family, and so we're very appreciative of what they bring, and we really want this to be part and parcel of what the conversation looks like as we move forward with this ballot initiative. Ms. Bias, would you talk about revenue trajectory?
Okay, so it's important to understand that passing a levy increase is not going to give the district a new trajectory of ever increasing revenues. What this does is allows us to make a one-time adjustment. The year that this tax money comes in, we can start increasing salaries, providing those benefits we've talked about. It'll be a one-time adjustment because after that, then our revenue returns to the same trajectory we've been on, limited by the Hancock Amendment. All of the tax levy setting mechanisms and controls are in place, and so we're back on the same slow growth limited by the consumer price index as we've always been.
So, Mrs. Lepak, would you walk us through just the survey results? We engaged in a community survey, as we have before when it's come to the notion of us actually putting something on the ballot. We engaged in a survey this past spring. Mrs. Lepak, will you walk us through those results?
I'd be happy to. We had a random sample phone survey that was done in May. It touched all 4 quadrants of our district, different demographics, different age groups. And this is what our respondents told them. We asked them a variety of questions, but this was the question about what level of support we had at each of these levels. For a 75-cent levy increase, 44% of respondents said they would either support or strongly support that. For a 58-cent levy increase, 48% of respondents said they would strongly support or strongly support that. And for the 45-cent levy increase level, 50% of respondents said they would strongly support or support that.
Thank you, Mrs. Lepak. What you have before you, board is somewhat reflective of what is embedded in the board doc posting of this meeting's minutes and board items themselves, and it's the ballot language itself. I can tell you from our past experiences, it's very helpful if our community has crystal clarity of what is being asked, and this bit of diagramming that you see is just the first phase of this. I have every confidence that this will evolve over the course of the fall semester so that we are answering any questions that people may in fact have. We know that ballot language can be confusing. We lean on bond counsel to make sure that we are compliant with whatever is listed in ballot language, that it is legal and very much appropriate. But this is the first snapshot that you will see in the coming months of what the proposed ballot language itself looks like. Mr. Cook actually referenced this at the close of his comments as it relates to our mission statement. And you've heard me say this multiple times, and you're going to hear at least one more time, that I have great confidence that the font has changed in size and style, but the heart of the message of doing whatever it takes to help all students realize their potential has not changed. It has been our bedrock, and it will continue to be our bedrock. But we're being very honest with our community, and I want you to know our board spent a tremendous amount of time having conversation about the survey results and what the dollar amount in fact needed to look like. But all of that comes together when we think about this mission statement, and we're at a place where we know we are in need of assistance, and what we want to do is communicate that need with our community and ultimately move forward. That's all that we have at this point in time. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Well, Senator Russell Long from Louisiana, when he was chair of the Senate Finance Committee back in 1973, made the rather famous quote, "Don't tax you, don't tax me, tax that fellow behind the tree." Tax increases are never popular. We get that. As a board, we get that. But we also have to understand that over the years, and due to the limitations of the Hancock Amendment, our revenue has not increased with the overall inflation rate, and our teacher salaries, our food, nutritional staff salaries, our bus driver benefits, any one of a number of groups have not remained competitive in the St. Louis district area, the greater St. Louis area. That's just a simple fact, okay? And it doesn't matter whether we want to be 5th on the list of the counties or 15th, we are just not competitive where we are today. So to change that, we need to come to you, Mr. and Mr. John Q. Public, and ask for your help. We need to adjust our tax rate so that we can take care of the people who take care of your kids. It's really just that simple, all right? And it doesn't matter what role they're in. I can sit here and think of all the valuable work every one of us knows nurses do in the buildings. Bus drivers, teachers. What school can run without a good administrative assistant? I know this board can't run without the one we've got. All right?
For sure.
So these are all very vital roles. And Rockwood, we are all so proud of the Rockwood School District and the education our kids get here. Well, it's time we give a little back. There's never a good time for a tax increase, but now is the time for Rockwood.
Yeah, well said, Bob. As a lifelong resident of Rockwood, 52 years, we have always tooted our horn as being a leader across the state, right? Our curriculum, beautiful facilities, amazing teachers and staff, athletics, the list goes on. And it is time for us to be a leader in Missouri and how we treat and pay our staff. And I hope that the public will hear us and will get behind us. And those of you sitting in this room, we're going to work together to get this thing passed.
Speaking of working together, Phil could not be with us tonight. He's on a cruise, I believe, in Alaska. And he was very regretful that he couldn't be here. And so thus he sent a message for me to read to the board and to the stakeholders. So it begins, to the stakeholders of the Rockwood School District. I regret that I am unable to be in attendance at tonight's Board of Education meeting to formally vote in agreement with my esteemed colleagues to place a ballot initiative on the November ballot. The value that the residents of the Rockwood gain from living in this district is immeasurable, whether or not they have students currently enrolled. Rockwood is known not only throughout the region and state, but throughout the country as a top-performing district and one that is sought out when families are moving to the St. Louis area. I am proud to make it known that I am in full support of the initiative which will be voted upon this evening. I will be helping in the effort to educate voters regarding the importance of funding for our schools and bringing up the pay for those who educate our most important constituents. Phil Milligan, Director of Rockwood Board of Education. Thank you, Phil, for that. Any other comments? Everything? Okay.
Well, I would just like to make one comment to the board as a whole here, and that is to urge all of us to vote yes on this proposition.
And I'm going to go back to our work session we had on August 30th, on the 30th. And you mentioned how long we sat and we talked and we looked at the data and we had a robust conversation, and it was we thoroughly talked about every issue, every employee group, the 45 versus different levels of a tax increase, and we came to consensus easily. And it was, even with our robust conversation, at the end of that conversation, we came together, and I know I felt really good about how we worked so well together. And I think we can take that forward and talk to our community and talk to them about what we need to do, how they need to help us in our quest to do whatever it takes to ensure all students realize their full potential. So, all right. If there are no further comments or discussion, I'll read the motion again, and it is to approve a resolution calling for an election in the Rockwood R6 School District to increase the district's operating levy. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Hearing none, the ayes have it, and the motion passes. 9.01, proposed agenda for the August 28th Board of Education meeting is up on the screen. (9.02) Future agenda presentations and events to attend. Well, we have some places to go on the 18th, I know that. So we've all been working on a spreadsheet to put our names, what schools we're going to visit on the 18th, and other places we're going to do, and it is everything's gearing up again, and it's a magical time of the year. After all these years, for myself being in education, I still get very excited about the start of the school year.
It's very weird not to go school supply shopping this year.
Aww. Yeah, I have some kids you can take.
It's a weird feeling of not getting parents square.
Yes.
So.
I will say my kids were the kinds, like, I think the list came live like July 1st and we had our backpacks July 2nd. So it's been packed.
There you go. Been packed.
It has been packed. They are ready. The
kids are-
like, we go back today? No.
The kids
We're
are
ready.
ready, and the parents are saying it's time they go back. So, with that, 10.01, adjournment. This meeting is adjourned.